Look, I mean, the way that you respond to a G0 world is either you reform and strengthen your existing institutions so they are more fit for purpose. You build new institutions that better reflect the demands, the opportunities, and the concerns of the present age, or you go to war. And I can give you examples of all three. All three are happening. We are strengthening NATO right now. We are creating new institutions. You know, the Quad. The Chinese are building Belt and Road, and the BRICS, and there are other examples.
Right.
But the most energy is going into more conflict.
Millionaires cheering him on. All of the tech titans, including the new Trump whisperer, Elon Musk, they're all getting plum spots in the inauguration. And they should, since they are literally paying millions for it. For the last couple of months since Trump's inauguration, they've been hitting up Mar-a-Lago, bending the knee, kissing the ring, doing all the things. And they've done everything from pitching a Doge department to cut spending to cutting fact-checking at their news sites. So, what is the reason for all of this? Is it all for influence? Is it for their bottom lines? Is it all for self-preservation? After all, Trump once suggested that Mark Zuckerberg head straight to jail because of Facebook's actions during the campaigns. The sitting president thinks that he knows, and he's sounding the alarm before his exit.
Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy.
Surprised some of these folks by naming them as ambassadors to Hollywood. He said they'll serve John Voight, Mel Gibson, Sylvester Stallone. They'll serve as special envoys to me for the purpose of bringing Hollywood, which has lost much business over the last 4 years to foreign countries, back, bigger, better, and stronger than before.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you're joining the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And also, guys, make sure you go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And remember, your life is an illusion and TV is your reality. And Trump's coin is sitting at $5 billion. While Snoop is performing. Guys, you can't make this stuff up. And we have Bremer on Bloomberg speaking about the BRICS and Belt and Road. And we rarely hear about those two topics in the U.S. But we have China sending its VP to Trump's inauguration. And guys, that is all for a show. The same way we have big tech going to be at Trump's inauguration. And remember, guys, this is all about the fourth industrial revolution. Trump has 4 years to land us in this digital economy. And who's going to lead the digital economy? The emerging market. And Doge is in place because now they have to start cutting spending because the United States is going to a level playing field, devaluing the dollar while the machines take over. And the U.S. and China will definitely collide. It will be quiet for about a year or so. And Taiwan will be brought up. But we know China has already stated Taiwan is a part of China. And we see the BRICS already getting off the dollar. All they need is that crisis to bring in these digital currencies along with all these machines. Remember, guys, we've seen the simulation already done during the C word. We saw all this technology pop up. People sitting at home getting free money. But this time, they'll get that free money airdropped in their wallet, and that money will be programmable, telling them what, when, and how to buy, and they have 3 to 6 months to spend it or poof, it's gone. And they won't be bored. They'll be sitting on a couch traveling in the metaverse. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And we have the inauguration inside. It hasn't been inside since 1985. When Reagan was sworn in. And what was Reagan? An actor, the same as Trump. And Trump's acting role is to land us in this fourth industrial revolution where the robots, algorithms, and drones take the economy over, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Adversaries. Russia in deep decline, Iran having lost their empire by proxy, the Chinese in the worst economic conditions since the 90s, maybe the 70s. are particularly weak. So it's an interesting moment to try this experiment. A lot of things are probably going to break as a consequence.
The thing out there, Dr. Bremer, is the only way this is going to get solved is the humility of a war. Discuss that. Is that what it takes to get away from the madness we're living in right now?
I think in the near term, we're talking about damage control. We're talking about countries and companies on defense. So, a lot of them are hoping that they just don't make headlines. Others are trying to figure out what they need to do proactively to kiss the ring. And geopolitically, you're going to see a whole bunch of countries acting the way Mark Zuckerberg has in the last week towards the commander-in-chief and towards his bomb thrower-in-chief, Elon Musk. By far the most powerful person around the administration, if I can call it that. Look, I mean, the way that you respond to a G0 world is either you reform and strengthen your existing institutions so they are more fit for purpose. You build new institutions that better reflect the demands, the opportunities, and the concerns of the present age, or you go to war. And I can give you examples of all three. All three are happening. We are strengthening NATO right now. We are creating new institutions, the Quad, the Chinese are building Belt and Road and the BRICS, and, there are other examples.
Right.
But the most energy is going into more conflict. The most energy is going into more war. And again, that is not geopolitically sustainable. So I think, your advice to other countries right now, given the power imbalances and Trump coming in and how consolidated his authority is inside the United States compared to 2017, where, he was riding the Republican Party's coattails, his administration felt very different. Not this time around. He's the guy, is that they have to recognize they're playing defense. And defense is more effective in depth. It's more effective if it's strategic, if you're not just, reacting to the latest headline. And it's more effective in numbers. In other words, the EU is better off than, say, the Mexicans because they can act collectively. And to the extent that other countries are capable of doing that in defending the things that matter to them, both in their own countries, but also in terms of international architecture, we will all be better off. By the way, Trump is going to get a lot of wins in the next year. But unlike Xi Jinping promoting a Chinese worldview, Trump doesn't get to do this for 20 years. He gets to do it for 4, assuming he's in good health. And then he doesn't anymore. So long term, the United States unwinding its own institutions does not strike me as strategically smart.
The wind chill factor could take temperatures into severe record lows. There's an Arctic blast sweeping the country. He writes, "I don't want to see people hurt or injured in any way," unquote. He went on to say, "I've ordered the inauguration address, in addition to prayers and other speeches, to be delivered in the United States Capitol Rotunda." Of course, the last time this happened was for Ronald Reagan's 1985 inauguration. It was ceremonial, but they did have to move things indoors. First the White House, the day after the Capitol. And back with us now, our political panel, Rick Davis and Jeannie Shanzano. Is that bringing back some memories? Rick Davis, you were on the inaugural committee that made the decision to move this thing indoors. Was it the right call this time?
Yeah, it's the right call. You can't put people's health in danger for a ceremony like this.
Yeah.
And so I think the president-elect and the inaugural committee made exactly the right decision. The temperature and the conditions were very similar back in 1985.
7 degrees that day. It's going to be 9 on Monday.
9 on Monday, and wind chill and snow. So, it was bringing back a lot of fond memories. And like what we had to do in 1985, this inaugural committee scrambling around to create an event, at Capital One Arena, a lot closer than where we had to do it at the time. But they'll do a great job.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance. agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets. Now,
it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence.
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books, there's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.